just want to say hello.
Okay.
And my colleague Zed and I, we sent a letter to your office earlier this year because we know you're retiring.
Yes.
And we're talking about this issue we call backdoor bribery. It's when a lawmaker retires, they start cutting special deals, and then they go into the private sector or a lobbying firm, they get rewarded with multi-million-dollar salaries. That letter that we sent, we were just asking if you would pledge to post any job negotiations on your website, just so there's transparency.
Actually, if you look at the Ethics Committee guidelines, if you negotiate with any employer, you have to notify the Ethics Committee, and then when you have an agreement with someone, you actually have to notify what's called a recusal. I think it's called a recusal thing, and that becomes public. So if you have any vote that affects whoever you're going, I don't plan to be a lobbyist. I don't plan to live in Washington, D.C. I plan to go home. But for those of people that are thinking about that route, they have to, it becomes public at least at some point along the way, where if they were trying to vote for let's say they work for a firm that has multiple clients, they have to post that statement of recusal. Now that probably doesn't take it to the threshold that you were talking about. When you actually negotiate with someone, by law, at least by the ethics rules, you have to file something. That is not made public though, and you're correct about that. But you know,
I've seen this problem on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, I can tell you that if I were to, and I have not, if I were to negotiate, if I were to do something like that, everything would be made public and would be out in the open. But I haven't seen your pledge, but you can certainly bring it by my office.
Great. We'll send you another copy. And one last thing, I know you're thinking about, at least you told, I think, Politico, about going back into the oil and gas sector. Would you recuse yourself from votes relating to oil and gas?
If I were, in fact, decided to get employed by the oil and gas industry, like a company hired me, I certainly would recuse myself from anything. But you know, I make no bones about supporting an industry that's the largest employer in my state, and there's nothing bad about the oil and gas industry.
Sure, but if it benefits you personally, that's different.
If I took a job, certainly I would recuse myself.
Well, thank you.
So absolutely.
Thank you, Congressman.
Yeah,